there's one of your many gifts is you're a really strong left brain person. You're amazing with structure, follow up, and all of that. Um, and at some point, this kind of work was not your cup of tea. And then you transitioned, and then you're like amazing at this. So I just want to, I guess, bring this up because there may be people that are like, that sounds kind of like maybe not my cup of tea. It's, too airy fairy, but you are such a grounded individual, super left brain. What was some of that transition that like moved you to be able to excel on this uh, kind of journey?
Well, that's a great and interesting question, and it made me think for a minute. And I will, I would like to say something very noble propelled me to do this, but I will tell you, fear and anxiety were the ones that got me going in this direction. Because no matter how many logical plans I put together and how many checklists, I still had this gripping fear inside me about the future. Was I going to make it? Was I going to be out on the street? What was going to happen? Um, I just, I did not, the, I guess I would say the business kind of resources. I had done and put everything into place that I could for that aspect. And when I started really reading, again, The Healing Journey, that's a book within a book, within Wisdom from the Woods, I began to see Jenny's process about facing those anxieties and those fears and those pieces of transition that turn us upside down. And I thought, okay, this is something that I haven't done. Now, I had done meditation. I'm a spiritual person, and I pray, and it's not that all of that was missing, but there was not this intensified laser focus on, I'm really going to work on these aspects of this transition just to see if I can get some relief and get some confidence and take some of this fear about the future away. So when I started feeling some more peace about that, that is what really propelled me to keep going with it and even put more practices in place and be more disciplined about them. Now, one thing that I will tell you, that Jenny and I are very close. We have very alike thoughts about so many things, but we're also different in some ways. Jenny's very disciplined about all of her practices that we talk about in the book, and I'm kind of disciplined. I don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would I would probably throw it all out the window if I had to get up at 5 o'clock every morning to meditate. But I have other times of the day that I find to do that are meaningful. The other thing that was kind of funny, one of my favorite stories from the book, is that this whole thing about nature was so much a part of Jenny's work. Well, I'm not your nature kind of guy. I have never really gone camping, and I've never, for vacation, I go to New York City and enjoy urban environments. My husband, Stephen, and I live in downtown Dallas, right in the middle of skyscrapers. So I was kind of wondering about this whole nature thing. And I thought it just seemed so important. So I thought, okay, I can make this happen. So I went out to the local Target and bought a few day camping supplies. And I thought, okay, where's the closest place I can go? So I went out to a park here that has a lake with it in Dallas that's about 3 miles from downtown. And I set up my little camp, and I took my books, and I was all ready to get and hear the Spirit and God from on high. And granted, I did not choose a good time of the year in Dallas. It was about 100 degrees with about 98% humidity. The sunrise, I did get up early that morning to see the sunrise. The sunrise was beautiful and it was a nice little breeze blowing across the lake. But then it started getting hot, and it started getting hot as hell in Texas. I mean, it was just smoldering. And no matter how long I sat there, more mosquitoes kept coming. They were all around me. I was fighting off bugs everywhere. And the meditation was not working, and the communing with nature was not working. So I lasted for about 3.5 hours, and I decided, okay, this is not for me, and I'm going back to my air conditioned condo. I'm going to take a nice cold shower, and then I'm going to take these same books that Jenny and I had been sharing with one another and do some reading. And it really hit me at that point that it is, everyone's journey is different, and they're going to find this solitude time and this reflection time in different ways. Now, I want to say that I am not in any way condemning nature or talking about how important that is in this process, because right now I have created my own nature spot on the 25th floor in my condo. I have an 8 by 8 foot terrace balcony, and I have put lots of wonderful plants out there. I have a favorite chair. I am out there even in the summer, lots of the day when I have the opportunity. And I have this wonderful relationship with the sky. I see clouds, I see storms moving in, there are high flying birds. My plants have all done 50 times better because I think they were lonely. And now that I'm out there, nature has come to me. So there's ways that you can do this in many different ways. And you don't have to go to the beach and you don't have to reserve a cabin in the woods, but those are wonderful things to do. And they're very attractive to many, many people. And I recommend those too. But if you're an urban person, you can do it in downtown Dallas. I take walks, visit the parks. There's lots of nature that you can find even in concrete.
I am actually super, super glad that you mentioned these things because, you know, the time constraints, not everybody's able to take 2 months. And then the whole idea of nature, not everybody will connect to that. So we have a little bit for everybody, you know, and anything in between that could work for everybody. So I'm appreciative for what you just shared.